Okay, this is the next video. I'm trying to get this crankshaft so it's not bent, and I think I've had some luck, but I really had to get out the big guns for this. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. I've been using my magnet on a stick. Put that up against the crankshaft and rotate it around, figure out which is the high side and which is the low side. And usually I can get them straightened out using this hammer here. This is probably a, I don't know, 3 to 5 pound hammer, I'm not sure. Heavy, it's a heavy hammer. But I pounded on this thing for a long time and never would get straight. So I had to get out the big guy, a freaking sledgehammer. And even with that, pounding the heck out of this thing, using my little slip-on adapter, it took a while. But it's very close to being straight. And one of the ways to check that, of course, is like we said earlier, is to watch that guy in the middle and see if he goes wink or wink instead of spinning in a tight little circle. The other way to check is to see the gap between the very edge of the deck here and here, and if they are the same, like if it's about, a quarter of an inch or a little bit more, it should be a little quarter of an inch, a little bit more down here. And then you turn it and say, okay, well, where is it here and here? It wasn't built into the budget, it wasn't taken into consideration. Is it in the same spot? And I sprayed some JB Blaster up in here and lubricate that, so I've got some little spots here so I can sort of tell. See, I can see the very edge of that blade passing that spot. And if I bring it down here, it's almost exactly that same spot, so that's good. But that doesn't tell me necessarily everything about it. That all needs to be addressed. Like so I guess at the end of the day, then how do you help someone create this thing looks pretty good. Income retirement, a way to cover health care, long-term care costs, a plan to you can tear these up a little bit if you pound it on them with sledgehammers. So I may mess this engine up. But it's got to be done. You got to straighten it out. Otherwise, nobody could use this mower because it would shake your fillings loose. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to start reassembling this thing, but I did want to show you this huge sledgehammer I had to use to straighten out the crankshaft. When they're really bad, this one's not big enough, and this one was bad. Set my big hammers over there. Look at this radio off. All right. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take a look at these wheels, because I think they're all crudted up and nobody wants to have a mower that's hard to push and squeaking and while you try to push it, and that's what this one does. So we're going to get our sandpaper and everything like that and work on these wheels. Hear that? Let me see if you can see what I'm looking at. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. See, that's not good. So I'm going to get my 9/16 and breaker bar. And, if I've torn up this engine from beating on that crankshaft with the sledgehammer, I still am going to use this deck. So that's one reason I'm focusing on these wheels now. All right, here's my 9/16, and what I'm going to do all these wheels. So I'm going to go ahead and get my big breaker bar and break the seal on these, because sometimes they're pretty hard to get going. So I've got that one going, and now let me go ahead and get this one down here at the bottom. And I'm just breaking the seal on them. This one over here, and the one in the back still has the little hubcap cover on there, so I've got to top that off in order to get to it. Let's get a thin bladed screwdriver in here. Oh, that's, you know what? I take that back. There's not a hubcap. Okay, never mind. That's one piece. Here we go. Ugh. Okay, so these are all loose now, and they should come off with my electric drill. And just for convenience, I think what I'll do here is, so you can see everything, is I'll work on this side first. So I'm going to get this wheel off and this wheel off. This thing is not touching, so that's, thank goodness I can work on both of these. All right, this is a 1/4 inch drive, 9/16. So I get this thing off. That's good progress. I just want to see what's up. See that metal inner liner there? Steel. That's good. That's a high quality wheel. And I'm going to go ahead and, since I'm using the wrench, I'll go ahead and take the back off too. These wheels are in good shape. And let's see. Yeah. Same thing. It's got the metal inner liner. So what I do is I get my strip of sandpaper and I start doing this on the axle to break that horrible rust off of there. All around. And since I've got metal on metal, I feel comfortable using some axle grease on there. I'll do the bottom now. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and at least do a little bit of inspection on these wheels and spin them around on my screwdriver here. See if there's any marks that this is the really rusty one there. Let's see what it sounds like now. It's a little bit better. But I'm going to do this more sandpaper. There's still rust down here. The top, the bottom. I want to get me a new piece of sandpaper. Do the sides. Okay. Now, let me get one of my wire brushes. Here, Knock the debris off there. Now I'm going to get me some axle grease from the 1970s. All right, now I'm going to put some of that on there. Stick in here, probably is from the 70s or the 80s, just so I can dab in here and get some. And I'll wrap around there. It doesn't take much, just a little bit. And now let's hear what it sounds like. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? So that, my friends, is much better. So I'm going to go ahead and put the nut back on here. There's my electric drill. Wonderful. Okay, now let's see how this one spins around. Oh, that's much better. That wheel's a little torn up, but it's got some life in it. A little axle grease on this one. And it's going to be so happy. Beautiful. I don't know if you can see that, I hope so. We'll cinch this one up. Okay, so that mower is going to be a pleasure to push now. So you see what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now. When you come back, I will have done the other two wheels, and we're probably going to be pulling the cord on Francis to see if my straightening of the crankshaft worked or if I just broke it. Stay tuned.